Who cares what you think? Who cares what you think? I just can't, man. I can't deal with. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it, and it's. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. People like there are cats out here walking around like they think that their opinion matters, and it doesn't. Nobody cares what you got to say in this issue, bro. Nobody cares, especially if what you're saying is ignorant and foolish. It makes you sound like you don't know what you're talking about. It makes you sound like you don't know what you're talking about. Cat's gonna be up here from Bo Dunk Hum nowhere talking about, oh, if a rider comes out to where I live, they better be prepared for a bullet in their head. Are you kidding me? Are you are you serious? In that same breath, you want to condemn the rioters and looters out there doing what they're doing, but you, in that same vein, when met with violence, will meet it with violence. Get out of my face, dog. Because that's the only reason why cats are rooting and line looting and rioting in the first place. Is because violence was put upon them. And when we tried to peacefully protest, y'all still threw rubber bullets at us. Y'all still threw the tear gas at us. Y'all were still beating us and throwing us out of the street. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What opinion do you have to share in this situation that's going to provide any type of credible sustenance to what we're talking about? It's that white privilege bullcrap that I keep talking about with y'all. Y'all think that y'all opinions need to be heard. They do not need to be heard. This is a black issue. It ain't got nothing to do with you. Why are you throwing your hat in this ring? If it ain't to sympathize, if it isn't to seek to understand, if it isn't thank you for sharing that with me, now I understand a little bit more about what you're going through, I don't want to hear it. I don't want you to give me numbers trying to prove what I'm going through is wrong. I don't want to hear that. And the dude who he is, Josh from New Philadelphia, you know who you are. The dude wants to present information about 9,000 homicides last year from African Americans. 8 of them were unarmed. What does that have to do with anything that we're talking about? What does that have to do with anything that you're talking about? And I hope you see this video and I hope you respond to it because I want the people on my feed to know that this person right here is an exact example of what I'm talking about is what's wrong with this country. Look, man, I posted on that thing a while back. I was talking about some stuff, and this dude comes in here with his white opinion, thinking that anybody cares about what he's got to say. And that's an example. And that's my problem with white America. Y'all don't listen to niggas when they talk. Y'all don't listen to niggas when they talk. You just hear a black man mad, you immediately assume that he's wrong. And want to give me a whole bunch of statistics and facts that think that somehow that's going to counteract what I got to say. It's not. It's not. And yes, I said nigga, because I'm angry. I can't help it. It's hard to contain this right now. I'm a Christian who loves Jesus, and I know for a fact no wholesome words are supposed to come out of your mouth, but man, it's hard. It's hard when I'm seeing ignorance being posted on this thing every single day, and people that think they got the nerve to try and correct my opinion, knowing good and dang well, they never stepped a foot in my shoes. They don't know what it's like. They don't know what it's like. Look, John, wherever you are, I appreciate the fact that you were even willing to engage me in conversation. We obviously misunderstood each other, and we're not going to come to an agreement, and I am okay with that. You think that I'm pulling the race card. I think that you clearly don't understand what it's like to be a black man in America. That's fine. We can go our separate ways on that. I'm glad that we were able to somewhat come to a peaceful resolution, and I'll keep it at that. My boy Gregory, I think that was your name. Thank you for providing your input because voices like yours need to be heard, especially in this situation. We don't need to hear people talking about, well, this happens to white people too. This is the da-da-da-da. We don't need to hear that right now. We don't. We don't need to hear that right now. We don't need to hear about what white people go through in this situation. We don't. Because right now, white people aren't going through this. They're not going through unjustified murder. They're not going through police forces who are supposed to protect us, killing us, and not going to justice for it. You talked about one situation in which a cop actually went to jail, and that was only because there was such a huge backlash about it. This is the first time. Trayvon died in 2012, and this is the first time I've seen a cop actually get justice he deserved. And I hope he's prosecuted, and I hope he's in jail. Because if he just lost his job, that's not enough for me. In these type of situations, that's not enough for me. And that will never be enough. Losing your job will never be enough because you're still free. You're still free. You're still free to do whatever you want to do to potentially do it again. You're still free. I'm sorry, John and George or Greg. Sorry, I'm passionate right now. We left on peaceful terms. I want to keep it that way. Josh, however, no. Josh from New Philadelphia, no. He is getting all of this because the way my man's presented his information, and on top of that, when I tried to invite him out to a dialogue, hey, look, I can call you, we can Skype, we can talk about this. Voice was nowhere to be heard, nothing to be said. Completely fell off the face of that comment thread. Look, man, I'm kind of all over the place, and I'm gonna stay all over the place for a reason because I can't contain it, man, and I'm not going to. I'm an intelligent, college-educated black man with a degree, graduated with a 3.4 grade point average in college, graduated high school with a 3.8 grade point average in high school. I'm not an idiot. But just because I don't talk like you doesn't mean that I'm any less smarter than you. And the people that want to come up here during this pandemic and make this whole situation about looting have completely lost have just completely lost the point of what's going on right now. You're looking at the symptom and thinking that that's the problem. We just are not even 2 weeks separated from a black man on camera being killed in front of our eyes, and you want to focus on the looting. You want to focus on the looting. You want to focus on the rioting. You want to focus on the people that are angry that their people are getting killed and nobody's doing anything about it. Like I said in that Facebook post a couple of days back, if you don't stand with us and never did, I don't care about your looting. I don't care about your buildings. I don't care about whose businesses are destroyed, because you destroyed and disenfranchised my people for 200 plus years. You built those buildings on the back of my slave ancestors. I don't care what you got to say. I don't care what you got to say. I don't care what you got to say. You can't give me no numbers. 9,000 homicides, 9 unarmed. What does that have to do with police brutality, Josh? Explain that to me. And I'm not going to make this whole video about you, because you're not worth the time, effort, and energy to make it about you. Because your opinion doesn't freaking matter. Especially yours. I'm going to leave it at that. And hopefully you respond, because I want people to know how ignorant and freaking racist you really are. Because trust me, I grew up in Dover, bro. I know the New Philly area. I know how you cats work. I know exactly how you cats work. And I know for a fact you used to call black people niggas behind your breath. I know you did. Don't even try to pretend like you didn't. The whole I don't see race people. You're one of those ignorant brothers that crack open beers at bonfires and act like you don't see race. Yeah, I get it. The same people that'll call what was it called? Forget it. I'm not beside the point. Beside the point. He doesn't deserve any more than that. Back to the point I was thinking. During this time, in this situation, there's a lot of people that are going to be upset about the looting. I get it. I do. And do I think that that's the solution? No. But do I care? I'm going to be honest with you. No. I don't care. I don't care. Finally, maybe now, people will start finally sympathizing with what we've been going through since pretty much the country's inception. Well, how can they burn down our systems and establishments? How can they destroy our small-owned businesses like Black Wall Street? How can they kill innocent people that have nothing to do with the situation? Thank you. Now you understand what it's like to be black in America, because that's what we've been dealing with for years. I can't understand. That's why for certain white people, man, I don't understand y'all. Why do y'all feel like in this situation your voice needs to be heard? Why do you feel like in this situation your opinion matters? It doesn't matter. I know that's going to offend a lot of people when I say that, but I'm going to double down on that. It does not matter. Your opinion does not matter. You need to listen to us before we start having to listen to you. That's that white privilege stuff I'm talking about, man. Black man gets killed. People are rioting because they're angry about it, and you want to think we got to care about what you got to say? Now, every black people stop being angry, stop being frustrated. I'm upset at what you're doing, so you should stop. Get out of here. Where was that energy when Trayvon was killed? Where was that energy when Trayvon was killed? Where was that energy when Gray was murdered unjustly? Where was that same energy when our Sandra Bland's and our Breonna Taylors and our many names that I should not know were getting killed? Where was your energy then? Where was the Facebook post then about the outrage? Where was the anger then? Nowhere. You know what it was? You know the energy you put into the conversation? You posted somebody's criminal record. That's what you did. Thinking that for some reason that justifies an unjust killing of a black man, when I know when there are examples of white folks doing way worse with guns, violence, and every other form of protest and got away from it scot-free. Didn't go to jail, didn't die. There's an example of a white man went into a church, shot up, killed 9 people, was able to get out of that not free, but he was able to be taken peacefully, had no harm come to him, and on top of that, even got a sandwich on his way to the jailhouse. But my people can do everything that they can, raise their hands up, follow the instructions, and still get gunned down on live television with the broadcaster saying, yeah, he looks like the criminal. And if you don't know what I'm talking about the Tulsa situation. It's been over 10 years of this. And to be honest with you, it hasn't just been the 10 years. It's been the 10 years where it's finally been exposed, but it's the 100 years before that. It's from Emmett Till. It's from slavery. It's not stopped since. Cats out here want to pretend like because Obama was elected, racism was over. That you're more ignorant than anybody else. Because you think for some reason because we elected, and even with that being the case, you elected him and did everything you could to make sure he couldn't do what he was supposed to do in office. So what really are you talking about? You can't give me that, man. You can't give me that. And it was like I was supposed to save this for 7 o'clock, but for some reason I sat down and I just couldn't contain it. I couldn't contain it. I couldn't contain it. And I'm not apologizing for anything that I say. I'm not. I'm not in the space to. Maybe a couple months down the road, after I take a really deep breath from the trauma and the frustration that I've been dealing with seeing my people get brutally murdered by a law enforcement that's supposed to protect them and no justice comes their way, maybe then I'll be willing to apologize. But until that comes, no justice, no peace. I'm not dealing with that no more. I'm sorry. And I'm not going to say I'm going to go out and start burning down buildings, but I'm also not going to sympathize with the business owners that got them burned down. I don't care. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Look, maybe again, when I calm down and I'm no longer upset, then I can start expressing some sympathy. But bro, this is secondary effects to the tragedy that we've experienced since I don't even want to call it. I don't even want to put a date on it. For the past 200 some years of our people constantly having the neck, like the boot being pressed down on our neck and nobody doing anything about it. The rioting is a byproduct of not being heard. If you had actually spoken up for us, maybe I would have a little bit more sympathy if those same people, when Trayvon was getting killed, were marching the streets saying this is ridiculous, this shouldn't happen. Maybe. But most of y'all kept your voices silent. Most of y'all, half of y'all didn't even know, and even less than y'all actually cared. And on top of that, half of y'all were trying to say, well, what did Trayvon do? Was he doing something wrong? Was he committing a crime? It was a teenager. And then Tamir Rice, the same situation. Well, he shouldn't have been out there with a gun that looked like a gun. He's 12 years old. What you talking about? That's a 12-year-old child that got gunned down. You want to try and give me excuses? That's what I'm talking about. That's the problem with this country, man. Cats don't listen to nobody out here. Black people are mad, and they should be. We should be. Now is not the time to tell us to calm down. Oh, sorry. Now is not the time to tell us to calm down. You've been telling us to calm down for 200 years. As you continue to rape, take advantage of, exploit, kill, murder, and do everything you could to put us down. Keep quiet. Do it peacefully, and we do it peacefully. And you sick dogs on us. You hose us down. You put tear gas in our eyes. You spray paint and pepper spray people in their faces during peaceful protests. You put people under arrest. Like, you don't care about us. Just admit you don't care about us. Look, I don't agree with Kanye for a lot of stuff that he said, but that one moment in 2008 is the voice that has been heard for hundreds of years that people finally got a chance to express in front of people. You don't care about us. You don't care about black people. If you did, you wouldn't be focusing on the looting. Why are you focusing on the looting? Do you understand first and foremost why people are looting in the first place? Black people, and let's be real. Black people aren't the ones looting. It's not even us. But you and your racial presuppositions automatically assumed it was us because you thought black people are angry, black people are thugs anyway, so of course they're going to loot and destroy their own communities because they don't know any better, because they're unlearned, untrained niggers. That just admit what you want to say. I'm sorry, this is going to be as real as it's going to be. I can't contain my voice anymore. And like I said, I'm not apologizing right now. And nobody's going to make me do that. The only person I'm going to apologize to is the Lord himself. That's the only person. None of y'all niggas are going to tell me to do anything different. I can't contain it, man. I'm trying my hardest, but I can't. I'm too mad for this. And I just keep getting madder and madder the more and more people think that they got a voice in this situation and they don't. Look, man, we're rioting because we haven't been heard. You talking over us in the midst of the situation isn't going to help us feel like we're being heard. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. That's what I'm trying to express. People aren't out here because they just decided they wanted to rob Best Buy. People are out here because their family members got murdered in front of their face on live television, on social media broadcasts, and sometimes live and in person, and the person who killed them didn't go to justice for it, simply because he was white. That's the only reason. Because he was white, and the person that was killed happened to be black. That's the only reason why he got away with it. That's wild. That's wild. You can't tell me, well, if he was a violent resistor, maybe he should have blah, 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 blah. There are plenty of examples of your people with guns toting in the air, shooting at cops, and managed to get home safely. Plenty of examples of that. Plenty of examples of that. But meanwhile, I got an example of a black man getting choked out to death over some loose cigarettes. And just recently, a dude getting killed for a fake $20 bill. Are you kidding me? We're not the same. Our struggles are not the same. Our situations are not the same. Even if your people are being gunned down, even if they're being killed, they're not being killed like us. It's not the same, bro. I'm sorry. You can give me whatever statistics and facts you want to try and do to debunk that, but at the end of the day, what we see experientially is black people being treated significantly different than white people in a system that's meant to protect us both. That's what we got. That's what we got. You can't tell me that we're trying to live in a society that's post-racial when everything that we're doing is motivated by race. Everything. The disproportionation of funds to black people, the disenfranchisement of our established. When we were trying to build ourselves up and pick ourselves on our own feet, you know what your people did? They burned down our buildings. They burned down our buildings. You talk about rioting and looting. Back in the early days when we finally got our freedom, how many black people's houses got burned down? How many people got dragged out into the street? How many people got lynched and put on public display? You don't want to talk about that, do you? You don't want to talk about that. But you want to talk about us because we burned down a couple buildings. I don't care about those buildings. I don't care about those buildings. I care more about the life that was killed that resulted in the buildings being burnt in the first place. Maybe if you guys stop focusing on the secondary issues, start focusing on the cause of the reasons why things are happening the way they're happening, we wouldn't be in this situation. Maybe if you listened to us from Jump Street and actually believed us when we said that we're being treated unfairly and we're dying, maybe we wouldn't have been in this situation where we feel like the only way we're going to get heard is if we burn some stuff down, which apparently is true because that's the only thing that, that's literally all it took was us finally burning some of y'all's buildings down for you to finally start to listen. Or at least consider, maybe, just maybe, something might be going on here. It took that. Like the LA riots in the 60s back in the, or is it the 80s, 60s, I can't remember. The ones in Watts, the riots here, all the stuff that was going on because of Homeboy. It's not, I'll say it, and it's true. It's not the way to go about it. I'll never defend somebody. I will never say that our response should be violence. I'll never say that. But I'm also not going to say I'm not going to say it's not understandable. I'm not going to say it's ridiculous. I'm not. I'm not going to say, honestly, in my flesh, and this is purely in my flesh here, I'm not even going to say it's not unjustified. Because we've been talking to y'all for years and you haven't listened to us. Someone posted it a while back, and it's a great example. It's like you're being in an abusive relationship. You're telling people, hey, this cat's abusing me, and you're just don't worry about it. Don't worry. I don't see. What are you talking about? No, you're fine right now. What are you talking about? You're being abused. And it's going on for years and years and years. And finally, the person finally strikes back at the abuser. And everybody's like, whoa, 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 what are you doing? Violence is not the answer. Get out of my face, y'all. Get out of my face. And I want to, at the end of this, eventually be able to calm down and actually have a productive conversation about this. But to be honest with you, I'm tired of trying to talk to white people who ain't trying to listen to what I got to say. Who instead want to tell me how I should feel, even though they have no idea what it's like being a black man in America. No idea. You have no hesitation to think that your opinion is more valuable than ours in this situation, and that is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. It's crazy how you guys really think that in the midst of all that is going on, that you think that your voice needs to be heard. It doesn't. I'm going to keep repeating that throughout this whole thing because I need you guys, and if you get mad, you get mad. Honestly, I don't care if you get mad because honestly, forget your feelings. My people are dying. I could not care about how you feel. I don't care about how you feel. How you feel? How you feel? When Eric Gardner couldn't breathe. When Philando Castile got gunned down. I care about how you feel in this situation and my people are dying? No. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Unless you're willing to sympathize, unless you're willing to understand, I don't want to hear your voice in this conversation. Oh my gosh, you're silencing my voice. How can you do this? This is America. Because you people have been doing it to us for years. You don't care about what we got to say. You don't care about what we got to say. And I'm not going to go out of my way to make sure that I explain that not all white people are doing this. I'm not going to do that. I'm tired of doing that. You should know already that that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm talking about. We continue, like us as a as black people and people of color in general, but specifically black people, I'm going to talk about us because this is us right now. It's just like, how many more times are we going to try to be the understanding party in these situations? How many more times are we going to try and go out of our way to make sure that we're coming off in a way that is easily receptible to people who don't want to listen to what we got to say? People don't want to listen. I'm tired of talking to brick walls. I'm tired of constantly having to repeat myself over and over and over and over and over again. This is the exact same situation with the flag. You guys want to get mad about Kaepernick kneeling during the national anthem and want to completely ignore the reason why he's doing it. No, that's a flag, that's a flag, that's a flag. It's like you're so focused on what you want and what you care about that you're unwilling to consider that just maybe, there's a reason why he's doing what he's doing. And he has explained it ad nauseum for years and you're still saying the same thing. Kaepernick has continually explained the reason why he's kneeling, and you guys still make it about the flag. Are you kidding me? It's the exact same situation here. We're telling y'all why we're rioting. We're telling y'all why we're looting. And you still want to focus on the rioting and looting. But still, that's not going to solve the problem. Of course it's not going to solve the problem. But neither is ignoring us when we cry out. But neither is trying to silence our voices when we're in tears in our faces mourning the deaths of people that should have been brought to justice and never got brought to justice. What do you guys say now? What statistic do you got for me now? What fact you trying to throw my way now? I'm bugging off the fact that people really think that they got a voice in this situation, man. I don't want to hear it. If anything, and this is why I'm thankful for some of my white friends, for some of y'all, because I love you. I love you because even though you may not agree with it, which you're allowed to not agree with it, you're still coming out, reaching out to me and asking me how I feel about the situation. You wanna listen and get understanding. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is actually what's going to help us move forward. Not yelling at us because we're angry, but instead trying to figure out why we're angry. It's almost like that's how it should be. And to be honest with you, and I'm going to be completely honest, it's your fault we're in this situation. I'm going to double down on what I said on that Facebook post. I don't regret that statement at all. It's your fault. It's your country, right? You didn't run your country well. And the people in your country are angry. Much like when you work at a job and your boss isn't doing what he's supposed to be doing, and you get mad and upset and talk about him behind his back and do all the things that you want to do to passive-aggressively protest the regime that you're under. It's the same thing here. You guys didn't run the country well. You haven't ran it well since the country began with regards to how you treat the people inside it. So don't be surprised when the people inside it are so pissed off that they got no choice but to start throwing some bricks. Because apparently talking to you in a calm, collected, peaceful tone of voice ain't going to get our message across. And again, I'm not justifying it. I can't. Well, no, actually, I can justify it. It does make sense. It does make sense. And it's understandable. But I'm not going to say that's a solution. I'm not that stupid. Even in the midst of my anger, I can still say that someone burning down a person's building that's got nothing to do with the situation, I can say that that's not fair. I can say that that's not fair. But and again, even with that being said, I am so thankful to the businesses that instead of lashing out in anger, have instead posted on their windows that got broken down, "I'm so sorry that you're being treated this way." That, y'all, those moments are what matters. Those moments are what matters. There are business owners right now that have had their windows broken down and have every right to be upset, but instead have chosen to humble themselves and understand why it's happening in the first place. And my heart goes out to those people because I hope those people are the first ones to get relief. I do. And I hope, honestly, and I'm praying that they're protected because they shouldn't be innocent bystanders in this. But we, as a people in this country, have been innocent bystanders for years. For years. Centuries. Centuries. Imagine centuries. Imagine 100 years. And imagine beyond that. And imagine only getting your civil liberties literally 50, 60 years ago. My grandma was alive at a time where she wasn't considered an equal human being. Now, God rest her soul, she's gone now. But there was a point in time where she was alive where she wasn't treated the same as us. Or as people in general. She was still treated as a second-class citizen. Y'all, racism is not over. I don't know what country. I do know. You're living in a bubble. You have to be living in a bubble. You are only surrounded by people who agree with you because there's no way you can look outside and see what's going on and think to yourself, wow, that is a strange coincidence. Because some of y'all tried to do that too. Some of y'all tried to white-splain these instances so bad, saying, well, that's just one cop. That's not all cops. Are you, you can't too? You can't. I'm sorry, you can't. You can try, but all it's going to make you sound like is ignorant, white-privileged, and oblivious to the reality of the situation. How can you seriously look at what's going on? How can you look at a man being killed in front of your eyes and still say to yourself, I'm mad that they're looting? Why do I care about how you feel about looting? Why do I care about that? Why should I care about that? When you clearly don't care about me. It's like you're mad at the abused wife for finally striking back against her husband, ignoring the fact that the only reason why she hit her husband in the first place is because the dude has been beating her senseless for years. Years. But you don't want to say nothing to that dude. You don't want to say nothing to the dude who's causing the problems. You just want to talk to the people that are reacting to it. And that's what I'm saying. There's a problem in this country. And it's been here since it's years. That's what I'm saying. Look, I understand people who got love for this country. I understand patriots, all that other stuff. I get it. But I got no love for this country, man. I appreciate living in it. I appreciate some of the freedoms that I have. But I'm not head over heels in love with this country. And I never will be. I won't be until we can finally get to a point where moments like these don't happen. That's the only way I'm going to say I love this country. The way that I want to love this country. And I'm not even kidding. Look, man. That was a lot. I've been angry for weeks. I've been losing sleep. I just haven't been able to sit down. It's been such a long time, y'all. And admittedly, for me, I have did everything that I could, and this is just me being honest. I tried everything I could to isolate myself from these situations. Because when I was 18, 17 years old when Trayvon verse happened, and I found out that the dude that killed him, that went away for, like, didn't go to jail, and got away from it scot free, like that. Y'all, how angry I was, how angry. I was so angry. That was my first time ever seeing injustice happen to my people. Seeing it. I've experienced it before, but that's my first time seeing it on a national level. I thought maybe in my situation, because I was young and stupid, I was like, well, yeah, I'm being treated unfairly. Yeah, I'm being called a nigger. Yeah, and I'm going to keep saying that word. I don't care if it makes you uncomfortable. I'm being called a nigger. Yeah, but I mean, it can't be that bad for all of us. And then I see Trayvon happen, and I'm like, are you serious? And then people on top of that are trying to figure out, well, what happened with Trayvon? Why didn't he just peacefully do what the cops wanted to say? If you got nothing to hide, you got nothing to worry about. And it's been that same trend for the past decade and a half. And it got to a point where I was so jaded, when I found out another one of my people died, I didn't shed a tear. Because I was used to it. I was like business as usual, and I didn't even bother getting upset when, much like clockwork, the guy who killed him got away with it. I tried my best to try and keep my anger suppressed, because it was the only way I could think to control my sanity. But now it's just 10 years of this, 10 plus years of this, and then the hundreds of years before that. I just can't keep containing it. And it's just bursting out, and I can't control it. Well, I can. Well, I can't even say I can. I can't control it in the way that I would like to. I wish I could stay calm, cool, and collected, and thank God that we have people like Pastor Glass in these situations that are able to put their emotions under control, to be able to navigate these in productive ways. Thank you for Timothy Spoke to being able to do the same thing. Shout out to my boy Josiah Reed, although I know he's just as angry as I am. Thank God he is more, at least mature enough, I guess more so than me in this situation, to not lash out in anger with his voice, but instead seek reconciliation and peace. And I agree with him completely. And I love my brother for that. But for me, it's hard. It's hard. And I'm not going to say that that's not my goal. I'm not going to say that I don't want that. I'm not going to say that I won't eventually pray for the people that have been killing us. I know that sounds crazy. I know it does. But when Jesus said, pray for those who persecute you, I actually believe that. And eventually, after I manage to exhale fully, I will get to a point where I will eventually pray for that. But for right now, no. And I'm tired of being told to stop being angry. I'm tired of being told to not express how I feel. I'm tired of being shut down. And I'm not talking about just me. I'm talking about our people. I'm tired of us getting shut down. I'm tired of us getting told that it's not that big of a deal. Racism is over. Why are you complaining? Looting, rioting, not the answer, not the solution, and doing nothing to talk about what's actually happening to us. We're telling you. We're showing you our dead bodies, and you're shrugging your shoulders. Your personal convenience is more important than the lives of my people, and that is why I don't respect your opinion. You care more about your bottom line and your dollar than the people that have been dying for years in this country. You care more about that than us. So why do I care about what you got to say? Why all of a sudden do I want to try and be the voice of reason, listen to you, and you try to feign yourself as the voice of reason in this situation when you've been passive, letting my people get beat down, killed, and murdered, and have no opinion about it? You don't care. Don't talk to me about what's going on right now. Don't talk to me about that. Don't talk to me. And it's like I said before, it's not about the anthem with Kaepernick. And it's the same thing here. It's not about the looting with Minneapolis. It's not about it. Have a conversation. Like, if more people were like, yo, I can't stand the fact that we live in a society, in a structure that has pushed our people to the point where looting is their only way to express themselves. Like, if a white person came out here and said that, like, yo, I can't stand this looting, but you know what I can't stand more? The systematic oppression that's led to the looting in the first place. I can respect that because I agree with you. Because that's a perspective that actually makes sense, that seeks to address the issue itself and not the symptoms of what happens when the issue doesn't get addressed. That's what we're fighting for. We're simply just fighting to be heard. I can't remember the quote exactly. Martin Luther King may have said it. It probably was him. That no, it was Mandela. I think it was Mandela. Writing is the voice of the unheard because we're not being heard. If you listen to us, maybe we wouldn't be so mad at you. If you were willing to listen, if you were willing to stand beside us, and I'm not talking. Look, let me go ahead since I feel like I need to do this because I do have love for you. If you are a white person who acknowledges that there is unjust in this country and readily is willing to stand beside us in this situation, I'm not talking about you. I will gladly hear what you have to say about what's going on with our environment and country, even if it's an opinion I don't agree with. I'm more than willing to listen to you because I understand that at the end of the day, you actually care about me and you love me and you want me to be okay just like you want to be okay. I got no look. You guys who are white and maybe feeling like I'm talking about you and that's your stance. Take a deep breath and know you're on our side. You're sitting on my side of the table right now. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the other folks who, when people are getting killed, decide that instead of trying to speak out against the oppression, post up people's criminal records. What does... I don't even know if he does. I feel like somebody tried to. But even if he did, what does George Floyd's criminal record have to do with him dying like a dog in the street? Even if he had one. There was a post a while back, and that was one of the few times that even though I was trying to keep myself calm and under control, it just blew me up. Ironically enough, it was from somebody that I knew from my hometown. It's not my hometown. I'm not claiming it anymore. But somebody I knew from the Dover, New Philly area that it was Gray. Well, I think it was Robert Gray. When Robert Gray got killed, she posted Robert Gray's criminal record. And what set me off with that is that she was saying that because he was a criminal, that he deserved to die. And what frustrates me even more is that the criminal record that she posted wasn't even that bad. The most he's been caught for was possession of marijuana, according to what the post said. And for someone, and she was white, of course she was white. I hate that I say that, but I hope it pisses some of y'all off because some of y'all need to be angry because I'm tired of seeing people just disinterested in our situation. But anyway, that's beside the point. She was basically saying, I'm not even gonna say basically, she was flat out saying that this dude, because he was smoking weed, deserved to get killed in a cop car as they were driving him to the facility. That, like, moments like those, y'all, is the reasons why I get on these lives and say the stuff that I say. And this isn't even a live. This is a recorded message. I didn't even have the patience and presence of mind to slow down and actually set up my broadcast because I sat down and it just started pouring out, and then I just started, like, I had to record it. I couldn't help it, and Lord forgive me for anything that may cause offense to you, Father. I know that some of this stuff is not glorifying you in any way, so I ask for your forgiveness for that. But in this moment, I'm just angry, Dad. I'm angry. Afterwards, I repent after if I need to, but for right now, no. Somebody in this country needs to see that there are people out here who love Jesus that aren't going to put up with it. I'm not going to put up with this. I'm not going to put up with this. I'm not going to put up with and see this anymore. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this, man. And I can even be completely transparent. Early on in college, I was the dummy who said all lives matter. It was short-lived, for sure. It did not last long once I understood what Black Lives Matter actually meant, because I was actually able to engage in dialogue and talk to people who disagree with my viewpoints. Because early on in college, I was one of those people who said that all lives matter. Why we got to focus on Black lives, da, 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 da. That was partially because the people on the campus that were saying these things were people that I didn't really respect all that much at the time. There are some of the people I did respect, and so that, therefore, they helped me kind of see the difference. But the people that were saying that type of stuff were also the same people that were basically deifying and saying that we couldn't. It was a tough time for Damon in that situation because the people that were saying it were people who I honestly did not have much respect for. Some of them. But even with that being the case, I will say that after seeing the errors of my ways, and not even the errors of my ways, man, I've always been pro-black, man. I've always been pro-black. It just looked different, and I didn't realize the language I was using was actually going against what I believed in. So for that, I do apologize. Because I was for the cause, whether you believed it or not. I just was trying to reconcile my viewpoint with what I was seeing, and it was just stupid. It was stupid, and I can admit that. I'm not afraid to admit that. But thankfully, by the grace of the Lord, that did not last long. It was only maybe but for a few months, and then soon after that, I was like, wow, I was an idiot. But all lives don't matter. You say that, but it's not true. All lives don't matter. All lives aren't created equal. They're not. They're treated differently. They're valued differently. And the reason why I know that is that a 12-year-old child can get gunned down by a white police officer. And the first response from white people is, well, he shouldn't have had a gun that looked like an actual weapon. Where Robert Gregg can get killed in a police car on his way to the jail, and someone will post their criminal record. Where Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin can get killed, and the first thing that comes out of white people's mouths is, well, what did he do to get murdered? Like, that matters. It doesn't matter. It would matter if your people did the same thing and got killed for it. But that doesn't happen in this country. Your people can... I saw your protests. I saw what you guys were doing in D.C. You guys were mushing police officers' faces. You guys were waving flags in their faces. You were grabbing their body armor and throwing them around, and the cops didn't do a thing to you. Didn't even raise a baton. But more people are getting killed for loose cigarettes and fake $20 bills that aren't even fake. Are you kidding me? What lives matter? Don't give me that all lives matter crap. Get out of here with that trash. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear your all lives matter. Black lives matter. Because they need to. Somebody's got to say it, because y'all ain't. Black lives matter. All lives don't matter because they're not treated the same. Now, is that does God believe that? Absolutely. Did Jesus believe that? Absolutely. Does Jesus believe all lives matter? Yes. Which is why he would be standing in front of the Black Lives Matter movement, because he knows. We have examples of that in Scripture where Jesus stood up for those who could not defend themselves. Jesus was all lives matter, but he went out for that sheep. He went out for the lost sheep. He was also the good shepherd. And when he hears his people crying, he goes out to defend them. God was the same, like God, Jesus, they're the same person, but even in the Old Testament, you can find examples of that. Israel would be bugging, but the very second they cried out to their Lord, he sent a judge immediately to save them. God cares about his people. He cares about all of them. God loves white people too, which is why I'm sure that he's frustrated right now that his people aren't listening to his people. Think about that. Imagine how, for some of you guys who claim to be Christians, imagine how God must feel right now that when your black Christian brothers and sisters are expressing their hurts and pains, you close your ears, close your eyes, and pretend like they're not talking. Or worse off yet, you don't hear what they're saying. You hear what you want to hear, you don't get clarity, and then you try to judge them based off of that. The gospel, social justice is also a gospel issue. I don't care what MacArthur says. Social justice is a gospel-centered issue. And any white man with a Bible book who wants to try and say otherwise, bro, I don't want to hear what you guys say. You got nothing to say to me. You got nothing to say to me because what you're trying to present goes completely against God's heart. And I know that because it says in the scripture, if you see your brother suffering, if you see your brother hungry, and you say peace be with you and do nothing to heal his natural situation, you don't care about your brother. You're not acting in love. You're not acting in love. Even in the midst of my anger and frustration, even I have the presence of mind to say that. Now, I might go back and do a live later on today, but I'm going to post this, and I'm not going to edit it. There's some people that are going to hear me say certain things, and they're not going to like it. I get that. But right now, Damon Bennett don't care. Damon Javon Bennett does not care about I don't care. Maybe I'll care later when I feel like I finally was able to get it all out, but I just don't care right now. I mean, I do. I do care about my people getting killed. I do care about truth. I do care about justice. I care about racial reconciliation. I care about racism ending. I care about us being unified as one people, regardless of race, color, or creed. I do want that, but right now it's not happening. So until I'm able to fully express my anger about that not happening, I'm not sugarcoating what I'm saying. I'm not sugarcoating it. And Josh, if you're watching this video, I hope you hear it. And I hope you hear every word, because I'm not taking back a single thing that I said. I'm not taking back a single thing that I said. I almost know for a fact that you call... I'm not going to repeat it. The Lord is stepping in now. I'm not going to repeat it. But I'm also going to say in that same breath that I do not take back what I said. Because I'm almost 95% sure it's true. I grew up in Dover, New Philly, too. I grew up around most of them folks. There were some white people from that environment and country and that city that were able to at least sympathize with me and be sensitive and considerate of my racial struggle. But there were even more people on the other end under that spectrum who did not care about that, didn't have anything to do with it, and on top of that were racist themselves. And said extremely racist things. So I'm gonna say that you're one of those people, and you got to prove to me beyond a reasonable doubt that you're not. But I'm glad that I was able to make this conversation more about the overall issue as opposed to just a few people. And again, John, I'm not gonna say your last name because I want to protect your identity. And Gregory, I think your name. Thank you guys for at least being willing to engage in conversation with me. I don't care if he's your friend. I know he's your friend. I know you care about him, but I got no respect for that man, unfortunately. And hey, man, look, yeah, Lord help me. It's like this is the byproduct of what happens when, when nobody speaks up for us. And not even speak up for us. We got to speak up for ourselves. But nobody's speaking along with us. This is what happens. White people, if you want your country to be the country that you want it to be, you got to run it better. And I'll say this because even though we built this country, and we did, you guys wouldn't be here without us. I got no problem saying that. You guys would not be here without us. There would be no America if it wasn't for black people. There wouldn't be. This is our country more than it's yours. And really, it's not even ours. It's Native Americans' country. And it was theirs before it was ever ours. And we never would have took it if you didn't place us here. But you guys had a job. Run this country well. Take care of the people inside it. You clearly have done that for one group of people and have not done that for the rest. And so this is what you get for being a bad parent. Metaphorically speaking, because none of you guys are my dads, and I will never claim you as a parent. But I was trying to find the words that would hit the hardest, because some of y'all need to hear this type of stuff. But yeah, you guys are bad. You guys are bad leaders. I'll just say that you guys are bad leaders. For those of you who claim that this country is awesome, no, it's not. It's got flaws. It's got issues, and you're the reason why it does. You are. I'm taking no... Look, man, I built this country, metaphorically speaking. I built this country, but I'm taking no credit for where it's at now. It's not my fault. You told me to build it, and you said, we'll take it from here. And look what you did with it. Look where it's at now. And I'm laughing for a reason, because it is funny to me that you guys are mad that your people are mad at you when you haven't taken care of them, you haven't fed them, you haven't clothed them, you haven't looked out for their well-being. Oh man, I'm all over the place, and I'm gonna be all over the place because what's happening to us is happening all over the place. And I'm a Christian who loves. I'm gonna keep saying that because it's true. I'm a Christian who loves Jesus, but I can still say the stuff that I'm saying and feel okay with that. I don't feel like most of what I said contradicted anything in Scripture at all. And if it did, hey, point it out to me, lovingly correct me, and I'll repent for it. But for right now, Damon Bennett doesn't feel like what he did was wrong. And I don't have to justify myself anyway. Forget it. I said what I said. I'm taking it as that. Take it as that. I said what I said. And hey, if you after this point, because even if you disagree with me and you are a racist and you don't care about what I'm saying, I'm not going to unfriend you. I won't do it because I want to see people like you, because I want to know. I want to know. And if possible, I want to expose people like you. So I'm going to continue to be your friend, because even though I hate your opinion, I value it. I do. I value it because it is important to know exactly what certain people think, even if it is completely destructive and unproductive in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So I'm going to keep you around. But if you want to unfriend me and block me, feel free to. Feel free to. I don't care about you. I don't care about you. You have value and worth as a human being, for sure. And I know that at the end of the day, I hope that you will come to a relationship with Jesus and be redeemed and be with us in heaven forever. I want that for you. But I don't care about your feelings right now. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about if you're offended by what I got to say. I don't care. I don't. I wish at one point I did. I did. And I'm sure somewhere deep down inside me, I still do. But right now, no. No, you are getting the raw, unadulterated. Damon Bennett is tired of seeing his people die and nobody doing anything about it. I mean, we're doing something about it. And I wish we could find a better way to do it. But hey, it is what it is now. You can't change it. I'm able to look at that and see that that's for a reason. It's not just because. And again, I'm going to reiterate the fact that it's not black people looting. It's not even us looting. It's y'all doing it. You guys are doing it. You guys are burning down the buildings. You guys are throwing bricks into and burning down targets. It's not even really us. I'm sure there's some of us out there doing it, but the majority of it's you. You're doing it. You're taking advantage of our anger and trying to capitalize on it by doing a whole bunch of destructive bullcrap, knowing good and dang well they're going to blame black people for it. And some of you ignorant sheeple out there that are perpetuating the narrative that it is us that are rioting and looting out there, you're part of the problem. And you are racist. And I'm going to say you're racist. But in humility, I will admit that you might not be a racist, but you definitely had a racist moment. I can say that for sure. This was more of an event than anything else. But it needed to be said, man. It needed to be said. We need solidarity. We need unity. We need to be able to come together. We need to not resort to violence to get our voices heard. Yes, we do. We do. But I can't be mad. I can't be mad at them for doing what they're doing. I can't. Because I'm black too. I can't. Because I'm black too. Because I see it too. Because I feel it too. Because I know how bad it feels. The only reason why I'm not cussing a storm and calling people out and saying even more hurtful and hateful things is only because of the fact that nobody that I know yet has gotten killed like that. But best believe if it did, don't expect Damon to take a deep breath and be willing to engage in a productive and civilized dialogue with white people. Don't expect that. Expect Damon to be mad and angry. Expect Damon to want to throw some tables around. Expect Damon to want to flip and break a window or two. To want to. I'm not saying I would, but don't be surprised when Damon gets out on the streets and starts yelling at people. If that were to ever happen. I'm there's a certain part of me that almost low-key does it now. I do it now, and these aren't even people that I know. Yo, the fact that I know so many people's names and I've never met them a day in my life is a problem. I'm not Facebook friends with George Floyd. I'm not Facebook friends with Tamir Rice. I'm not Facebook friends or Twitter pals with Trayvon Martin. I didn't know any of these people until I found them dead on my newsfeed. That's how I know them. Not as people, but as corpses. That's how I know them. That's a problem. I should not know that many people. I should not know Philando Castile's name. I should not know Robert Gray's name. I should not know Sandra Bland's name. I shouldn't know these people. But I do. I know them. And I know them dead. I only know them as dead. I don't know them as alive. I only know them as victims. I only know them as corpses. I don't know them as alive. But those are lives. And they mattered. Just like there were white cops that got killed and they're like, look. I'm not doing it. I almost felt myself doing it. I'm not doing it. You care about your people. You care about your people. Because clearly you only care about your people. Of course I do care about, deeply inside of me, I care about that cop that lost his life. I do. I do care about his life. And I wish it didn't happen. But it did. It did, and it's been happening to us for centuries. So maybe now, finally, you can take this moment and finally choose to understand what we've been going through for years. As triggered and as upset as you are about this, as badly as I know for a fact that you want to go out and do some stuff about it, which you admitted to doing, which some of y'all have actually done. Yeah, man. This is a sidebar, but I feel like it needs to be said. Where's the stop the violence when you guys are burning down buildings when your favorite sports team wins the Super Bowl? Like, where is that happening? Where are the conversations then about, man, we need to stop rioting and looting, man? Like, I'm tired of seeing this. Those small business owners don't deserve that. Those people, where is that energy then? It's not there because you understand the reason why they're doing it. Because you yourself are like, yeah, man, it's crazy. But, Philly hasn't won in years, so of course they're going to riot in the streets. Of course. But my people can do the same thing. And you're like, why should they do that? Why are they burning down buildings? Even though that's not true, even though we're not, your perception of it, why are they doing that? And do nothing to understand the reason why, y'all. That's racism. That's what racism is. Or, whatever, what the pastor used the word, bias, something, implicit bias, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it, but that's what that is. That's white privilege. That's white privilege. That's institutionalized racism. That is benefiting from a system that benefits you. You're right there with them. Even though you don't have the whip in your hand, you're not telling the slave master to stop. You're not telling them to stop. And then on top of that, you want to get mad when the slave finally starts swinging back. And I'm not going to use that analogy. We're not slaves. We're not slaves. Even though you treat us like it, we're not slaves. We're kings and queens. We're kings and queens, and you're going to see the crowns, baby. You're going to see the crowns. The crowns, they're beautiful. And I can't wait to lay mine at Jesus' feet. But that's beside the point. Y'all, later on today, it's going to be a little bit more calm, maybe. We'll see. I'm going to be doing a live later on today at around 7. Probably 7:30. Who knows? I think I got it all out. So maybe what I got to say later on today won't be much of what you guys just saw. But, yeah. I just can't. I can't bring myself to calm down my voice. I just can't. I can't say I can't. I won't. I just won't. People need to hear calm, collected voices promoting truth and reason, but people also need to hear our hurt. People need to hear people angry. People need to hear people screaming. People need to hear that. Because we're people. We're people and human beings who have emotions that can feel and get upset. Part of the reason why I think some of y'all think it's okay is because we've been trying our best to not let our full frustration be known. But man, look. You can't avoid it now. You can't avoid it now. And there needs to be something done from a grassroots level. Like, this whole country needs to get flipped up on its head. Take for that what you will. I don't care if you interpret that as rioting or not. But the country needs to be changed as a whole. It was founded on racism. It prospered through racism. And the country at its core needs to change. It needs to change. Laws need to change. Cops, if they unjustifiably kill someone, need to go to jail. They need to be prosecuted. They don't need to just lose their jobs. They need to go to jail. White people that falsely accuse black people with crimes, or anybody that gets falsely accused of a crime, period, needs to get met with legal action, because I'm tired of seeing our people get killed over misunderstandings. I'm tired of seeing it. How can you look and see somebody who's literally in their apartment building doing nothing, and a white police officer kicks down the door and guns you down in cold blood, thinking that you had broken into their apartment? How can you look at that and think that we're the same? Your people, I'm sure, get killed by police officers too, but they don't get did like that. They don't get killed like that. It's not the same. It's not the same. You can't possibly. Because if that happened to y'all, you would still be rioting. I know for a fact you would still be rioting. Some of y'all are having a hard time with having to wear a mask over your face during a national pandemic. I can't imagine how you would respond if one of your people got unjustifiably killed, literally for doing nothing. I can't imagine how you'd respond to that. You guys want to talk about our problems, and we're rioting and looting, but you guys are kicking down Wall Street, or not Wall Street. You guys are holding guns, fully armed, body armor, flag stuck in the back, over having to wear a mask. But my people can't be angry about getting killed and the person who kills us going away scot-free. We can't be mad about that. And you want to say, well, he went to jail. Yeah, that's one time. That's once. It's only happened, as far as I know, it's only happened once. Everybody else either was on paid, suspended leave, or lost their jobs. This is the first time I've seen somebody go to jail for it. Once. Once. This has been going on for 10 years. How many bodies? How many more bodies? Like, man, I just, like, when it's you, it's unfortunate. But for some of y'all are never going to get it until it's you. You're never going to get it until it's you. Until you experience what we experience, you're never going to understand. You're going to continue to say the same ignorant, borderline racist stuff that you've been saying and think that you're completely justified in it because you don't have any black friends. All you guys are a whole group of people that agree with you. You've never been to our environments. You've never been to our communities. You've never been to our situations and experienced them for yourself. You stand at an island at a distance and try to project your experience onto them, thinking that they have the same situations that you do, and they do not. You as a white person, intrinsically, because you are white, have more of a privilege than me. You don't like that. That's a soft spot for you, I'm sure, but it's true. Your struggle is never going to be the same as mine. It's never going to be the same as mine. We can be similar, for sure. We can be kindred, of course. We can both struggle with poverty. We can both struggle with being treated unfairly by law enforcement. We both can, yeah. But the way that yours looks will never look the same as the way mine looks. It never will. It never will. It'll never sting as bad for you as it will for us. It'll never hurt as much. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because these moments bring us back to the hundreds of years prior when we were treated like this every day and nobody did anything about it. The only reason why I say it hurts more is because we got more trauma. We got more pain in this country that we got to go over. There are some of us that still haven't gotten over slavery. I haven't gotten over slavery. It happened 200 years. It happened over 200 years. For over 200 years. I am still not over Trayvon Martin. I'm still not over Trayvon Martin. And that was 10 years ago. I can't get over Trayvon Martin. Because although Trayvon wasn't the start of it, it was my first experience with it. I wasn't alive. I think I might have been alive for Rodney King, but I never saw it. I didn't see it firsthand. If I saw Rodney King, I would be doing the same thing I'm doing now. Yo, when I first found out that Trayvon's dude got free, and that dude has the nerve and audacity to go out on public television and start saying all this other crap like he's the one who's a victim. And that's the thing. And then on top of that, how are you going to look at me and tell me that you care about our lives when your people are doing things like the George Floyd challenge? Explain that. You guys are making a joke on someone who literally died on my television. You ain't gonna do nothing about. Don't give me that. Don't give me that. Your people are making jokes at my people's expense, but you want to tell me all lives matter? Get out of my face with that trash, man. Get out of my face with that trash. I want to hear what you got to say. Don't give me no percentages. Don't give me no statistics. Your people are joking over the deaths of my people like that is something to joke about. Get out of here with that garbage, man. I got no time for that. I got no time for that. I got no respect for anybody who's willing to stand beside a person like that. And if you think that's ridiculous and you think that that's a travesty, good. You should feel that way. I'm glad you do. And I'm not taking back my anger. I'm not taking back my screaming. I'm not taking it back. You got to hear it and you got to deal with it. You got to hear it and you got to deal with it. Because until you do something about it, you're not going to listen to me stop. I'm not going to stop. I mean, eventually I'll probably stop screaming because, I got to preserve my voice. But you're not going to hear me. You're not going to hear me stop speaking out on it. You're going to continue to see Facebook posts. You're going to continue to see me occasionally put something on Twitter. You're going to see me occasionally put a video out on something like this. Because we can't keep going through this. We can't keep going through this. But that's all I got for now. I'll get back on later on today. I thank the Lord that I got Jesus as my Savior. Because I know and I have the faith that it will happen one day. It will happen one day. And that's one of the few things that gives me the strength to keep going. Is that I know Jesus hears. I know He hears. I know God hears. And I know He cries with us. And I know He does. And I know that slowly but surely He's working it out through people like you who are listening, who are affected by this, through people like me who are hurt by this, but still somehow want to come to a peaceful resolution. Like, He's still working in the midst of this. And although I'm not seeing it, and I'm frustrated that I'm not seeing it, and I want to see it now, I know that when God finally brings it into full fruition, it will last. It will stay. It will stay. Because He made it stay. So that's my heart on it. I still love you guys. For those of you who are actually willing to listen to me. And I'm sorry that I'm sorry that I can express somewhat of a sympathy. I am sorry that that you feel powerless. I'm sorry that you can't fully understand and have to go through conversations like these in order to finally get it. I do feel bad about that because if I was in your shoes, I would hate it. I would hate having to constantly hear about how my people are just absolutely treating other people terrible. I would hate that. And it's unfortunate. But for those of you guys who are willing to actually man up and woman up and accept that, and that's something that does happen, and take the responsibility that you have to make sure that you do something different about it, like, that's what I care about. That's what I want. That's what we want. That's what we want to see. And I appreciate that, and I thank you for that. You have no idea how much that speaks to me. Abby, if you're watching this, you're one of those people. I thank you for that. My cousin, Kirsty, you see this. Thank you for that. My mother, thank you for that. My aunts, thank you for that. My uncle, Mike, thank you for that. For people who are able to, even though they're not my same skin tone, be able to at least let me say what I gotta say and then understand where I'm coming from. Like, I need that. We need that. We need that, y'all. And I want it to end well. I do. And I want the violence to stop. I do. I want the looting and rioting to stop. I do. I do want it to stop. But I want the systemic racism to stop first. And I want that to stop more. Because that's the only way the rioting and looting is going to stop. Once we start taking care of these causes instead of trying to deal with the symptoms, then maybe we'll start seeing some change. And I do got love for y'all. Even those of you guys who are racist, bigots, and ignorant people, I do got love for y'all because I know you're lost. In your soul and your mind, you're lost. You're a fool. And you're not going to realize that until something in your life is going to just completely destroy you from the upside down, or you're going to face God one day. And I fear for you. because that's not going to be a fun conversation for you. When Jesus stands before you, not as your savior, but as your judge, it's going to be, I fear for you. I fear for you. Because it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be fun. And I hope that you repent, come to relationship, and actually grieve over your foolishness before the time comes. I hope that happens. And it's not too late. If you repent and accept him as your savior and understand that you inherently are a broken human being and you need a savior and rest on him to be your salvation, you still got time. I'm amazed that even in the midst of all this, I still have the audacity to want to wish for your salvation, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy how God has built us as a people to still be loving in the midst of our suffering. It's crazy how God built us that way. Like, I'm amazed with that. I'm amazed at how understanding we can be. I'm amazed at how accepting we can be. I'm amazed at how loving we can be in the spite of being literally destroyed. This is why I love God, man. This because the way he built us as people. It's awesome. But it's just, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I said what I said, man. I said what I said, and it's what I said. So yeah, I'll be back on around 7:30, so be looking out for that. But just know, I love you guys. I love you. I do. I hate you right now. I do. I hate you. I can't stand you, but I love you. And know that I'm not talking about those of you who actually are with me, who are loving me from a distance and who care about me. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the racist, ignorant bigots and the white privileged, I don't see color, race doesn't affect me because I don't personally experience it, so racism must not be real, people like that. I hate you. I hate you right now. And I shouldn't, but I do. And even with that being said, I still love you. And I hope one day, you can receive the salvation that you desperately need. That you desperately need. And I know I will forgive you. Because I'm strong enough to do that. But right now, man, no. Right now, in the part of the reconciliation process, it's always important that the offended party has a chance to express how they feel in a safe environment. And this is me doing that. Once the dust settles and I have a chance to finally take a deep breath, then I can hear what you got to say. But until that happens, you need to hear us. You need to hear us. Because it's not you that's getting killed. It's not you. It's not you. I love you guys, man. I do. All you stupid, foolish, just ignorant people, I still love you. Oh boy. All right, so that's what I got for this one. This was spontaneous, definitely out of the blue, but yeah. So I probably won't respond to a lot of the comments that will pop up on this video in particular. But feel free to comment if you want. Even if you disagree. I mean, you do have a human right to have your voice be expressed, but just understand, I don't have to listen to it. And I don't have to acknowledge it, and I don't have to care about it until I'm in a position to believe and know fully that you care about mine. And I might mature out of that at some point, but for right now, no. So that's all I got, man. And just know, at the end of the day, it is love, which is why I hurt so bad, which is why I'm so angry, and which is why I'm so frustrated. It's because I do care, and I care deeply, and it hurts me to know that it's going on. And it hurts me even more that there are people out there that are defending it, and even more that there are people out there that are making a joke of it. I pray justice comes to you. And I pray it comes swiftly. Just like I pray that there's justice for all of us. And I don't know. I'm in my David in the desert psalm, angry at the persecutor type vibe, where I just want justice. I want people to really, really get hit hard with the gavel. But I know that if I know that I wouldn't want that for me, so it makes me a hypocrite. But excuse me, and I realize that, and that's how I feel. But what we're going through, man, it's just see my moment right here as a symptom. See it for what it is. See this experience as what happens when you continually ignore us. This is how mad we get, and this is tame. Y'all, I need y'all to understand. Damon Bennett, prior to being saved, this computer would have broken and a window would have been crashed in. That's how angry Damon Bennett can get. This, even with me throwing my pencil and screaming at the top of my lungs, that is tame in comparison to where it could be. So just understand, the Lord is working on me. The Lord is working on me. And he is helping me right now, even in this moment. I know he hears me. I do. And I need that. And I know that there are white brothers and sisters out there. I'm repeating myself, but I need to repeat it because it's important. I know there are white brothers and sisters out there who hear my pain. And although they may not agree with everything I got to say, they understand where it's coming from. And that is important. That's important. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I do. All right, but yeah. It's always awkward ending these types of things because it's like I basically just let it all hang out like that. We're both just kind of in the room awkwardly, like, where do we go from here? But yeah, I'll see you guys later on today, and it will be more, at least a little bit more structured.